What is good, YouTube? It is Rico the Foxkid here, and I have got my deck profile for a September 2013 Mermail. Yeah, so I've been toying with it since the ban list was leaked, and I took this version to my locals today. We had a small tournament, 6 people, so there were 3 rounds. I got second place. It wasn't meta decks. There was a 6 Sam, there was Evil, and then uh, friend of mine, XX Adam Swag, ran Diamond Dude Turbo and actually beat me game 3. So, yeah, it was actually a solid build, and he's a great player, so I wasn't too surprised that I lost. Anyway, so yeah, let me get into the deck. And it is still very solid. Mermail is still a great deck. I still think they're going to top. 1 lead. 3 Megalo. Even with only 1 sphere, Megalo is still very important at 3 just because he starts a lot of your combos and he is a target for Lind. So, yeah. And the lone Teus because he was limited, unfortunately. 2 Gund, I did drop to 1 for a while because I felt originally that what made Gun so good was that she comboed with Teus, and then I realized that that's not entirely true, if it's even true at all. Gund is just very powerful on her own, so 2 is still great. And we got 3 Lind. Lind is, if she wasn't incredibly important to the deck before, which I'm pretty sure she was, she's just as important or more important now, just because she's your floater, so she just dies in any way, you get a free Mermail. And she's great even without Sphere. 2 Pike and 1 Sturge. I'm trying this numbers, like these ratios, just to see how it works over 3 Pike 0 Sturge. Haven't had too many problems yet. There have been instances where I've opened with Sturge and been like, well, why can't you be a Pike? But it's not too bad. If it ends up being too much of a hassle, I'll go back to the 3rd Pike and drop the Sturge. But right now, I don't think it's that bad. And that's all the Mermails. For the Atlanteans, as soon as I can move these out of the way. 3 Dragoons. 2 Infantry. And 3 Marksmen. That's standard. The only reason we did 3 Infantry during the last one was because dragons and everywhere. And very little back row. And then other monsters are 3 Deep Sea Diva, 1 Fishbarb Archer. This card is so good. It can save you out of so many tight situations and just so many combos. If you open Archer and a Dragoons, you can set the Archer and end your turn, and it will probably die. And then you bring back the Archer, use Dragoons, and go off. And it's really great in late game situations. Like if you have Archer in your graveyard and no monsters in the field, and you top deck a Gund, that's good because it will get you back a Mermail. Just Archer is just great in so many situations. And 2 Tidal. I'm only using 2 because he's not a core focus of the deck, so as a result, I don't want to see him too often. It's not like last format where Tidal was very important because rank 7 plays were absolutely necessary. And just so, I think 2 Tidal is great. I haven't found a desire to have the 3rd one. And then for hand traps, 2 Valor and 2 Max C. Unlike the beginning of March where only Max C was good and only in the Mermail matchup, this meta I'm expecting both of them to be very important because Max C, out of the 6 decks I'm predicting to top, like 3 that I'm pretty certain are going to top and then 3 that I think have a good chance of topping, Max C hits all of them except for Bujin and maybe Fire King. And then Valor hits all of them except for those 2 and Mermail. So I think Valor and Maxi are both going to be very important. And then that's the entire monster lineup. It's 31. And that's just because of the Maxi and the Valor. Otherwise, it would probably be 26. Actually, it would be 26. Spells are Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, 2 MST, and Pot of Avarice. Even with Tidal, Pot of Avarice is very good just because it's so easy to put 5 monsters in your graveyard, and just the +2 is nice. And since Tidal's not a focus of the deck, I wouldn't go out of my way to constantly summon him. Like, I would summon him in situations where I needed him or situations where I was pushing for game. Otherwise, I wouldn't summon Tidal often because that's the quickest way to run out of resources. So that's why I still run Pot of Avarice. and 3 traps, the 1 Abyss Fear that I'm still allowed to run, and 2 Breakthrough Skill. I was debating between Breakthrough Skill or Torrential Tribute. It came down to, did I want more Negation or more Destruction? I ended up going with Negation, although I may end up switching the Breakthroughs out back for Torrential Tribute. I don't know yet. But Breakthrough has been helping me, so I like it. And that's the entire main deck. It's 40 cards as normal. The extra deck is 8 Xyz and 7 Synchros. They are the 4 rank 4s. They are Mermail Abyss Gaios, Mecha Phantom Beast Dragosac, number 11 Big Eye, and number 74 Master of Blades. All are useful in certain situations, so I made all of them. Then for rank 4s, I've got Abyss Dweller and Bahamut Shark. Rank 3s, I've only got Abyss Trite and Wind Up Zen Mines because, well, Trite is usually summoned off Bahamut Shark, and then Zen Mines is if I happen to have the means of making a rank 3, I'd usually want Zen Mines, so. And I don't make rank 3s often, so. And then for the Synchros, Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. This card is an absolute boss in Mermail. She is like the greatest thing to ever happen, just because it's so freaking easy to make her. 1 Diva, if like you go through with all the attacks, can make a Trishula. 2 Diva can make a Trishula during main phase 1. Against my captain AC Linz, he was running the evil deck. Game 1, I opened Megalo and double Dragoon, so that set me up with a Megalo, a Sphere, and a Trishula on turn 1. So it's pretty nutsy, and Trish also won me game 2 against the Diamond Dude Turbo. So it's just, she's a really nasty card. And also, it's like, if you have Fishborg Archer, and then you make Mecha Phantom Beast Dragosac, you can detach with Dragosac, make 2 tokens, and then use the Archer and the 2 tokens to make Trish. There's so many ways to make her, and her effect is devastating. So Trish is amazing. If that wasn't obvious enough. Crimson Blader, just for those matchups where you can use them, especially because Mermail's still going to be topping, in my opinion, so Crimson Blader can save you in the mirror match. Scrap Dragon, Gungnir, Duloran, Catastor, and Army Arm. And that's the extra deck. The side deck right now is fairly generic, but it pulled off what I needed it to do. Depending on how the meta shapes, I'm obviously going to change it. Okay. I'm keeping Aqua Spirit in for now, just in case I face a deck that has to, like, dies to Abyss Dweller. Aqua Spirit just makes it easier to summon. 2 DD Crow. This card saved me so much in the Diamond Dude Turbo matchup, just because I banished everything he sent to the graveyard. And then, at the same time, I feel this is going to be really good against Bujin to get rid of the Quillins and the Turtles. And it's going to be great against Fire King to get rid of Garunixes and things like that. So, I honestly think DD Crow is going to be very important now. 1 Valor, 1 Maxi to coincide with the 2 I main of each. The 3rd MST. 2 Debunk. This thing hits all of the Bujingi in Bujin. It hits all the Fire Kings. It hits all of the... I forgot what it was good. It hits the Atlanteans in Mermail, and it also hits the Mermails in hand, like Megalo and things like that. Debunk is great. I'd mainly side it for Fire King and Bujin. I don't know if I'd side it anywhere else just because I don't have the space. Mind Crush is Mind Crush. Everybody's going to be searching this meta probably. And then 3 Royal Decree is so good against like heavy back row decks. Like I use this against AC Linz in the Evil deck, and it won me game 2. Just because he couldn't do anything to respond. And I run so little back row, like, so it doesn't even matter to me. So Royal Decree is great if you're facing a heavy back row deck. And Vanity's Emptiness. I honestly don't know how I feel about this Vanity's Emptiness. I threw it in there because I had 1 more space. It hasn't helped me yet. I'll see where it goes, but I may end up driving Vanity's Emptiness. And that is the entire build. Tell me what you think about it. I do have a deck profile for Twilight coming up next. And I will get to Bujin eventually. I am just missing 3 cards for it. I may just proxy them. I already have them proxied. I just don't know if I want to do a profile of them proxied. So, yeah, until that happens, see you next time, YouTube. Deuces.